All right, so I'll quickly share my screen just so we understand what we want to do here, and we have a visual display of what the program looks like. We'll try as much as possible not to take your time, because after this session, we are still going into more breakout rooms just so all teams can finally meet each other. And we know some of you have been having conversations on the Slack, but then we would still want you to physically see each other here. So I'll quickly dive in. So welcome to the Climate and Health Research Lab launch. And I know that Mashkur has spoken a little bit about why we are doing this, why we're here, but I would love to give you more insight and more administrative instructions as we would be going on here forward. So this is the agenda for this lunch. We are already on number 4 now. So you can just read through and see what we have to do. We are almost like halfway through the program. So what is OFSN? Who is OFSN? And what exactly is this organization that is hosting this research lab? So we are an interdisciplinary network of youths. We are about 400 now. That's actually that's actually large, and we try to focus on youth from more low-income countries, though we have some other people, and we are presently represented in over 54 countries. So we're within the age of 18 to 35, and we're committed to answering the big questions in environmental sustainability, climate change, clean energy. Another term that wasn't added in the slide is planetary health, because we believe that's an existential problem, and all of this points actually rests on planetary health. So we are also thinking about that through systems thinking, collaborative measures, and research, which is mainly why the Climate and Health Research Lab was established. So we have 5 major initiatives. We have the climate advisory. It's just like our monthly newsletter. We have Greenhouse. It's an environmental media channel, mainly on Instagram. And we have the Climate and Health Research Lab, which is what you are a part of. And then we have the Climate and Health Fellowship. It's a pretty new program that we're just getting started. And we also have the toolkits. This toolkit is an information for programs that we try to engage youth to go do programs, and they are funded for them to do programs in their community, programs related to environmental health, environmental sustainability, and all the likes. And the last thing is we also have partnerships within all of these initiatives. So what are the key goals of this Climate and Health Research Lab? Why are we here? Why are we doing this? What exactly do we intend to achieve? So it is not very common that you have youth research groups, because usually when you see research groups, they're usually in universities and research companies and all of that. So this lab was actually created out of the love for creating evidence for climate and health, which is actually affecting lots of low and middle income countries. And that's why we decided to actually target youth from low and middle income countries, because we know that they are the ones that can actually tell their stories and also try to create evidence for climate and health. So the key goals mainly here is we want to try to train research fellows, people that are willing. And when we believe that you're willing, that's why you're here today. So we want to train research fellows to become world-class researchers. And the way we are doing this is during the course of this program, we're going to be bringing experts in climate and health research to come and train us on how exactly we should be answering these big questions, and how perfect we need to be able to do a research that will be publishable. Because then if we do a research and it's not very good enough and we cannot put it on a journal, then why exactly are we here? So we are going to be bringing everybody. We're going to be bringing experts, because we also understand that it's not everybody here that has actually done research before, or maybe still within the research world. So we are going to be bringing experts to train at some point in time. I will be talking more on that later. And also to foster effective teamwork for research and knowledge sharing. We understand that research has to be empirical. It has to be involve the information of a lot of people, and also ideas that a lot of people will come together and share and back up with data. So it cannot just be opinion of one person or the story of just one person on research. And that's why you are all selected into teams. So you work together in teams, and part of our training is also going to involve how you're going to be working well as in teams. And then the next thing is to also publish in research, though our plan later on is to probably like have a special issue, but then we've not gotten to that point yet. So, but mainly after the 12 weeks, we are going to be reviewing all the papers that we've had, and then we'll plan to publish them in journals. Part of the training will also involve helping you publishing all of those papers in journals. And then the fourth one is to encourage inclusive ideas and diverse relationships. We have presently over 100 people on the cohort, and they are all represented in 23 countries. So we understand that people have different ideas, people have different trainings on how we should do research, but then we want to try to encourage you sharing ideas and to understand each other in all the teams. And lastly, of course, is for us to be able to promote best practices in the field of climate and health and to influence policy change. So majorly what we are trying to do here is to create more evidence around how climate and health is affecting us anywhere that we come from in the world. So quickly, I want to try and go through this chart that explains where we are going, when we need to get there, and what we need to do, because we understand that when we have a broad idea of when and what we need to do, it would keep everybody on check, and it's just for us to be able to have everybody at every point in time to say, okay, this week, this is what we are doing, the third week, fourth week, till we get to the 12th week. So as you would have all seen in the program documents that was sent to you, this program is going to be a 12-week program, a 12-week intense program. And at this point in time, I don't think if there is anybody that's not sure of what they want to do, this point today would actually be the best time for you to pull out. But I don't think there is anybody that wants to leave the program right now. So I'll just quickly go through what we are going to be doing. So the first launch is what we are here doing right now, and that's the first meeting, the first training. So we expect that over the next 2 weeks, each teams are going to be talking about their questions, their topics, and probably submitting. I'm having an abstract proposal. So we are going to be creating a document for you. It will be facilitated by the Oath for Sustainability Network. We'll be sending the links to all the team leads, and they would be working directly on that document. And we've also said this, we also try to include it in the program document that you should please keep all your information on the Slack document, just so your Slack team channels, just so that we can track your information from there, and we know at what point you are. And we would also be sending emails every week just for us to tell you, this is what you need to do this week, this is what you should be doing, this is what your team lead should be helping you to do. But your team leads actually would be the one to be facilitating meetings, documents, anybody that commits to what part of research you should be doing. Your team leads are going to be the ones to be facilitating that, and I will be talking more on that later. So the first meeting is what we are having right now. We are bringing you on board on everything that we are supposed to do, and then over the next 2 weeks, we will be talking about the questions and topic research, and how best you're going to do that. Mashkur will be talking more on that later. And then after 2 weeks, we send out an information for another meeting and training. We're going to be bringing in another expert that would walk you through how you're supposed to do the introduction and literature review. And that would go on for 3 weeks, because we understand that literature review is not very important before you try to get your papers together, before team leads are going to try to talk to everybody. Okay, you bring 5 papers, you bring 10 papers. We understand that it's going to take a lot of time. So it's going to take 3 weeks after the second training and teams check-in. So after the 3 weeks, we're going to be having the third training and teams check-in. So that's going to be another expert that will talk about your methodology. Are you using the right research design? Are you combining your results together? How do you intend to do your discussion? How many people are presently now on the team? Because we also know that not everybody everybody at every point is going to be very active or doing what they're supposed to do. So that will be the point where we might probably like need to reshake all teams. And then after that, we will be going into the fourth training and teams check-in. So at that meeting, we'll be having we'll be training you on how you're going to have a proper discussion. Now you've gotten your results. What are you supposed to be doing? What do you intend to achieve? What are you now trying to say? What information do you want to get out of this paper? And also the conclusion, which is also a very, very key part of your paper. Who is going to be doing that in the team? Is it everybody? Is it just one person? You know, these are all of the information that would be divulged to you through your team leads and co-leads. So after that, after the conclusion, then we come to the very last training, but not the last meeting. So during that training, we'll be having conversations about how we are editing and proofreading your document, because then we understand that we are in the age of technology and big AI. Everybody wants to, you know, do quick work, which would actually not be part of this research. That information is actually on your program document. So we'll be editing your papers, and we'll be talking about citations. Do you have the proper citations? And also talking about what we need to do for the summit, because we plan to organize a summit at the end of the 12 weeks, just so everybody can share their ideas, what they found, each teams. And then we'll also be talking about how you want to do your slides presentation for the paper, and finally, how we are going to plan to publish all of these papers. So that's what we're going to be doing in the course of 12 weeks. It might feel like a lot, but then it's very intense, and it's definitely for a good cause. And if we do not try to plan it part time and have a timeline for everything, some people are going to be drawing us back or drawing us forward and all of. So we want to make sure that we are all on the same page at every point in time, and everybody understands what we are doing at every point in time also. So this is just a very simple organogram for this program. So my name is Dami. You guys have also met Mashkur earlier. So we are the program leads for this program, and many of the emails you're going to be getting are usually from me, though we have another administrative lead, but he couldn't be here today. So but the many of the emails and the instructions and everything, documents that you're going to be getting will be from me. And then Mashkur will be the one facilitating the research projects. Mainly, he would mainly be the one scrutinizing your papers, criticizing what exactly you are doing and all of that. So we also have the team leads and co-leads. So like I've said earlier, the team leads and co-leads is not actually, it's not an hierarchy, like it's not an hierarchy. So nobody is bigger than anybody. The only reason why we have them there is because they need to be able to connect everybody together and give everybody instructions, schedule meetings, you know, decide on topics, decide on what is good and what is not. But then they would be the one that you will be interacting with directly throughout all of this program. So if there is any form of issue, though, we will still appreciate you reaching out to us. But then please liaise more with your team leads and co-leads. And another thing that I really wanted to quickly chip in is the fact that some teams have just one lead, and that's because they are of the amount of people on each team. So each team, there is no team that has more than 13 fellows on top of, like, in them. And I think the amount of people that we have on the smallest team is about 4 or 5. And these are the teams that have just one team lead. So even if you feel like you don't have 2 team leads, don't worry about that. Anybody that has been appointed as your team lead in your team, just reach out to them and liaise with them. It has been indicated on the team channels too, on the Slack. So please reach out to your team leads, and they would also be the one to know what you're supposed to be doing at any point in time. So also, I would quickly love to go through this. There is more information on the program documents. We have tried as much as possible to make that document effective and what's the English? We've tried to make that document very full and vital enough such that it contains everything that you need. And we don't want to go through lots of all of those, not jargons, but we don't want to go through everything here today just so because of time. So number one is please respect everybody on your team. We understand that so many of us, you know, we wear lots of hats. We have people here that have published like 10, 15, 20 research, we understand. And then we also have some people that have actually not done anything. So please, wherever you're coming from, whoever you may be, please respect everybody. We are all different, but we are equal. And then number two thing is please eliminate all egos and insecurities. This is actually two sides of a coin. If you feel like you know much more than anybody on the group, and maybe you feel like they're not taking your opinion or whatever, please speak to your team leads. And also, if you're on any group and you feel like you have an opinion, but you feel like your opinion will not count because maybe you don't have a doctorate degree or you're not a master's student, please do not hesitate to speak up, because any of your ideas whatsoever can actually help the team get to where they need to be. So please do not be insecure. This is a no judgment zone. So feel free to talk to your team leads. Even if you don't want to talk generally, talk to your team leads and share your ideas with them and where you think your research should be going. And thirdly, please be present and follow through on any commitments you make. We understand that this is research and it's intense, and at every point in time, you would have something that is expected of you. So if you've been given anything to do or you committed to do anything, please try as much as possible to follow through with your commitment, because whatever it is that you do not do will drag your team backwards. And you don't want to be the person that everybody's chasing up and down with emails. We don't want to come to a point where we would have to be sending emails generally to you that, please, why are you not doing this and all of that. So we don't want one person to drag a team backwards. And quickly, I also want to chip this in. Almost everybody are in two teams. So if you feel like you cannot commit to two teams at the same time, please quickly let me know. I would remove you from the team. We don't want anybody to commit to stay in any team and not stay committed there. So if you know you cannot undo two teams or you cannot do two research at this point in time, please quickly let me know before the ending of this week so I can remove you from that team. But at this point in time, we are not reassigning anybody again. So the teams that you chose during the application is exactly the ones that you have been assigned to. But if you feel that you cannot commit to two, please quickly let me know before the end of this week. And the fourth thing is please make the most of the experience. We are all learning, even if you wear different hats, you have a doctorate degree or you are an undergraduate, please make the most of this experience. One of the major reasons why we created this is for us to be able to network. Nobody has all the full information or anything. So please make the most of your experience, reach out to people, be respectful, and, you know, just make the most of it. Okay, so the business of the day mainly is for us to just talk a little bit about our topics and our research and how to create our abstract proposal. So I would not be the one taking this, it's going to be Mashkur, but mainly we are not opening the floor for anybody to say, this is what I want to research on. You're going to be doing that in your team breakout rooms later. So Mashkur will just be talking to you about what's the ideas that you need to be able to pick a topic, if you are picking a topic that is researchable or not, because that's another thing, the kind of topics you should be picking, because we also understand that presently now nobody can actually do any research to go and collect primary data. And we also feel that it might not be possible for you to do a geographical research. That means a research that involve a particular area, because we have over 23 of you. No, I'm sorry, we have everybody from 23 countries. So unless your group or your team agrees to do a research that has to do with a particular location, please try as much as possible to avoid that. So I'll pass it over to Mashkur now to talk more about how you should do your topics research and abstract proposal. Mashkur, over to you.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Right, hello everyone. Yeah, thank you so much for the brief insight into our goals and our aims. Yeah, I think everyone here is quite passionate about research, and when it comes to climate change and health, we have seen that there's actually not a more pressing time for evidence to be provided, because a lot of policymakers need to make decisions that are affecting the health of the population, because they make these policies based on the evidence and data that they have. So it's up to us and also all scientists around the world to be able to provide this evidence for them to make well-informed decisions and make sure that it doesn't really impact in a negative way the health of the population. Yeah, so when it comes to what we want to do, I believe each one of you selected a particular team that they want to focus on. And in that area, you will need to identify collectively as a team, since you're not going to be working individually, you'll need to identify particularly what is the research topic, like what exactly do you want to provide evidence on. So let's take, for example, if you're interested in the climate change and air pollution aspect, you know that, yeah, there's been evidence that shows that the adverse effects of climate change have been worsening air pollution and, by extension, increasing asthmatic attacks and other respiratory illnesses. So do you want to evaluate how changes in temperature or allergens have the effect that they have on the cardiovascular system? Do you want to see maybe if different climate conditions they impact the biochemistry of a person and how that can affect their response to air pollution? Or do you want to investigate the biological mechanisms that underlie the interaction of stress, climate change related stressors, and also air pollution exposure? So these are some of the aspects that you can look at, and this is what you're going to be doing collectively in your team, identifying which particular area you want to focus on and developing that research question. Because in any research that you're going to do, at the end, what you want to be able to say is that you have answered your research question. So framing it in a way that it's going to make sure you're able to collect evidence, or you're able to synthesize already available evidence and make sure that you're able to answer the question at the end. So if I say I want to assess maybe future impacts of the changes between indoor and outdoor air quality associated with projected changes in climate. So this has to do with projection. So in your conclusion, you're able to say that, okay, based on this and this and this, we're able to project that these are going to be the future health impacts that are resulting from this. So ultimately, that's what we are trying to do. The same goes for when it's extreme events, or if it's long-term impacts on climate change or on health, or if it's ecosystem-mediated effects. Whatever team, whichever sub topic that your team is focusing on, collectively you can brainstorm and decide what area you want to focus on, and from that you then synthesize and craft together a research question. And it's just worthy of note that this is not something that you will just come about just like that. It's going to involve a lot of back and forth, because there's going to be different perspectives. And at the end of the day, you just need to work collectively and ensure that you come up with something that everyone agrees upon and something that can actually be used for research. So the research question is very key, because if your research question is not right, then at the end of the day, it will be more like you're just wasting your time. that the question is going to direct you basically on how you're going to go about it. And that will also inform the methodology that you're going to use for the research. If you want to do literature review, or if you want to, well, actually, you could gather survey if you want to do quantitative research, and maybe you draft the survey in the team. Of course, this might require IRB if it's going to get data from people. But that's also something that we can support with. So it all depends on how ambitious your team is and what exactly you want to achieve. And some can feel free to just focus on writing a commentary or perspectives. You can go to a literature review, or you can go to more in-depth quantitative research. Yeah, so that's basically a summary of what's going to be involved. And I think that smoothly brings us to the next phase, where we're going to have a breakout room. We'll have breakout room based off of the different teams, and in those teams you can liaise with each other and with your team leads as to when you're going to have your different team meetings, and also your different team meetings, and then you can plan on how you're going to decide the topic you'll be focusing on. Sorry, I'm just seeing the questions in the chat. Yeah, my network is not really that good. That's also why I don't have my camera on. I'm not sharing my screen. But yeah, I'll just open the floor now for any questions before we go out into the breakout room.
Okay, please, if you have questions, raise your hand. I think that would be the most easiest way to do it. So all right, Elona Herezi, you can unmute yourself and ask your question. Elona, can you hear me?
Thank you. Yes, I can.
Oh, okay.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And thank you, Mashkur, for that introduction. So I want to ask here, would OFSN be maybe like using reference managers at any point in time? So the reason I'm asking is when people begin to do literature review, people are going to, have to work with a lot of literatures, and maybe when they start writing the introduction and background, they're going to start, referencing a lot of journals and stuff, so that it's not manual at the end, and then we're not talking about citation when they're almost done and everybody's manually typing the referencing style that we'll choose, maybe Harvard or I don't know, depending on the journal we want to publish in. Maybe, I don't know, I know some schools already like I'm talking to the organizers, and I know some schools already like subscribe to reference managers like Zotero and EndNote and all of that Mendeley. So if we can already like start working with reference managers from the beginning during literature review, so that even the team leads, when they are like working on the every part of the document, they're already like having their references, organized. And I'm just looking at how to avoid choosing a referencing style at the end of the 10 weeks, and then we eventually choose one, and then we're manually imputing that style, typing it in from all the journals that we've used. So if there's access to, if we have access to any of those referencing managers, maybe the team leads can, I know some of those referencing apps, referencing managers already have, like, you can create shared groups. So maybe the team leads can have access, and then, when a team member sees a particular journal of interest, you can mention the title to the team lead, and the team lead just adds it to his or her reference manager. So at the end, the team lead just collates everything. That's if everybody is not to have access, like login access to maybe your reference manager. Maybe you can limit it to just team leads, and everything is a bit more easy for the team leads at the end. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Alona. Mashkur, would you like to take that?
Yeah, sure. thank you, Alona, for bringing that up. And yeah, that's a good point. I personally I use Mendeley, and it's also easier for me because I can easily switch depending on which reference style I want to do. I can just switch it at the end. But yeah, that's true. And also I think here something that's worth noting is also the experience that we all have with using reference managers, because not everybody might be familiar with using EndNote, not everybody might be familiar with using Zotero, not everybody might be familiar with using Mendeley. But yeah, I think that it's something that we will look into, and we'll see. Probably might also organize a session particularly focused on reference manager and the softwares and how to go about it. And that way it will be easier. It'll be easier for us to navigate that.
Yeah.
Right.
I would quickly chip in on that. So at every point in time in this program, we are going to be getting a document information in our emails, in our team channels, and also in the All Fellows team channel on Slack. So nobody would say they did not get the information. And also the trainings that we've been talking about are going to be involving every tools and information that we need at every stage of this research. So thank you so much, Elona, for bringing that up. So next we have Nadine. Nadine, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yeah, organizational question very quickly. Just how long are going to be the breakout sessions that we're having with our teams now, and are we coming back to the big room afterwards?
Yeah, it's for 15 minutes, and you come out to the big room afterwards just for pictures, and we close. That's all.
Okay, great.
Thank you. Dr. Halishba, you're up next.
Okay, thank you both for giving me the chance to ask the question. My question is that as we have to go towards the breakout room right now, so we are, some of us are part of more than one group. So are we going to meet the group which we are leading, or are we going to meet the group which we are working with? And also, I had also a concern about the access to the paper, because usually the papers are not easily accessible to the masses. So I really was, concerned, like, are we going to get the access, or and I would recommend that if you could please make a major Google Drive so that it could be shared with everyone, or maybe each team, because the thing is that I am part of more than one group, so it should be organized. So these are like the questions and concerns. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that question. So I said it at the beginning that we are going to be sending you links for each team. So everybody's email that you have used to sign up for this program would be added to that link. So, and no team would have access to the other team's documents. So every document is assigned for each team. And also for the question that you asked now about the breakout session. So we have 22 teams, but presently now we are going to be having 11 breakout rooms, because we know that at least one of you is going to be on the 11 breakout rooms. So we would have that for some minutes, and then we would have another breakout room for another teams, another 11 breakout rooms for another set of, for the second part of the teams, just so that everybody have access. But we also understand that not everybody is here. We have just about 40 something people on this call now. So you might probably not have access to meet with everybody on your team today. So that will be the duties of the team leads. They would be facilitating later with every team on how they are going to meet, and I would suggest that they do that as soon as possible. So you can facilitate it to your team on the team channels on Slack. So this one is just for you to be able to just meet each other randomly. You can brainstorm ideas if you want, and if not, that's also okay. But just try to meet them, probably talk about when you're going to meet and all of that. So this meeting is not like an official meeting for you guys to get started. It's just for you guys to know each other. Yeah, Alona. Alona was just saying in the chat that she thinks we should have a shared Google Drive. So we have that, but we have not just sent it out yet because we wanted to wait till after the lunch. So I'll be sending it out shortly after this meeting, so everybody has access to it. You can put the date of your meeting there, the time, and everything. So it's definitely a Google Drive for everybody. And you can also keep the information of your the papers that you're reviewing. You can also upload them there so everybody can see. You know, that's for your team leads to actually facilitate, but definitely we'll be providing you with a Google Drive. So do we have any other question? If we do not have, I would quickly be creating the breakout rooms. So I'm starting with the first 11, and I will be putting, because the breakout rooms actually pops up as 1, 2, 3. It won't put the name of your team. So what I would do is I would copy all the information of all the rooms for 1 to 11, all the team names. I would put them in the chat section so everybody can see all the teams. So please, you all, I believe you all know all your teams already. So please join the one that is actually for your team. So then everybody doesn't have, you know, issues eating their head against each other. So please join the one for your team. So so the information is there in the chat session. Now I just sent it to the chat session. Those are 11 teams. I'm sorry, it's not really properly structured because it has removed and all of that, and then it's not numbered 1, 2, 3. But if you can just please look through it and just check and join the breakout room for your team, then we'll be creating the next 11 after about 10 minutes. All right, thank you. So please join your rooms and, you know, alliance with your team leads and everything. Then after 10 minutes, we'll call you back to come back here for the next set of breakout rooms for the last 11 teams. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I just have a question because I think both of my groups are in the next session.
Oh,
could it happen?
Like both of the teams that you belong to are in the next session?
Yeah, I don't see any of that. I mean, migration and WASH basically linked to climate change, and they're not there.
Okay.
If I'm not wrong. Yeah, that's why I was just checking.
Oh, all right. Just if you can just hold on a little bit because the breakout room is actually not letting me add enough people in each room. I can only get 2 participants for each room if I create 22 breakout rooms. So that's why we decided to batch it. So if you can please wait for a while. So when this one is over within 10 minutes, we would create the next set of breakout rooms. Is that okay with you?
Sure, it's no problem. It's just that, of course, I will just participate in one and not both because I can't physically.
I understand. It's the technical support that we have access to. Thank you.
No worries.
Theophilus, you have a question? I can see your hand raised up.
Yeah, I'm facing the same challenge, but I guess it's been addressed.
I'm sorry. That's the technical support we have access to at the moment. We would probably think of a better way to address this next time. So let me just put that information in the section. If you're Yusuf, I can see your hands up. Do you have a question? Okay.
No, not really. I was trying to see. I couldn't find the groups again.
Yeah, we just discovered that that was going to be a problem. So if you could just please wait a little bit. Once we close out this breakout rooms, we are going to do it for the next 11 teams, which I believe your team will be part of. So if you could just wait a little bit for them to round up.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm just joining, so I'm kind of lost. I don't know what I need.
It would be a lot to go back now, but we are actually in a session of some of the team meetings. So if you want to check the chat, I put the information for each team. So you look them by the number so that you can join your team. Do you understand?
Okay, are you sending it again? I couldn't see the message you were talking about.
Oh, okay. Just hold on a little bit. Okay, just give me a minute, please. So we are closing this first 11 rooms already, and we'll be creating the next teams. So if you did not see your team before, just hold on. If you have another team in the next 11, also hold on, you would see it next. So just hold on. Once they get back here, we'll be creating the next 11. All right, so to the next set of teams, we also have 11 created, and I'll be putting the information in the chat for each of the 11 teams. So the numbers that are all assigned to each rooms are also in the chat. So please check and join the one for your team. Just give me a minute, please. All right, so it's been created. Please join the team.
Hello, good morning, ma.
Hello.
Yes, ma. So during the application, I searched for climate and wash, in which I have high interest, and that is what I'm working on. But I couldn't find it during the application, so I go for plastic pollution. So at this day, I can't even find it as well.
Oh, thank you so much for that question. So during the application process, we decided to limit some of the teams that got full firsts, and we had to remove them from the application at some point in time, because then we had like more than 13 people sign up for it, and there would be no way to have been able to reassign them later. So that's why you might probably like not see the list of some of the teams you're seeing now on the application when you were trying to fill it. So it depends mainly on the time that you filled the form. So if you were part of the people that filled the form in the first 3 days, you would have seen all the list of the teams there. So we just felt that there is no point leaving any team there if it's already full. So that's why we didn't have them there. Did I answer your question?
Yes, you answered the question clearly.
Yeah.
So at this stage, how can I get into that research group? Because I have a project I'm currently working on, which is on the clean water and sanitation. And I feel it's a place for me to learn and also to contribute.
Well, it depends, because at this point in time, there is no more reassigning of anyone to the teams, because most of the teams are actually full. But the only thing is, if you are leaving the team that you have presently now and you want to join the wash team, that is if they are not full yet, which I actually doubt. So I don't think there is a way you will be able to join another team presently now.
Okay, great.
Yeah, like unless only you're not comfortable working with the teams that you have right now, maybe you don't want to dabble into new research or something. We are still going to have subsequent cohorts for you to have an opportunity to work on WASH that you actually wanted.
All right, it's fine then. So on this second 11, I can't find planetary health and plastic pollution.
So
which is my second option.
I guess it's in the first 11. So you might just join the second team that you're actually on.
Yeah, I joined it during the first 11, which is climate resilient healthcare systems.
Okay, that's fine. You can just hold on for us to close once this next team gets back.
All right, thank you so much.
Would you please paste the list again?
What?
Kindly paste the list again, the
Oh,
list
okay.
of breakout.
All
I'm
right.
looking for the one here. I think I didn't get the number.
Okay. So some of you are going to notice that you have maybe just 2 people or no one in your room. So obviously not everybody was able to join this meeting. So you can still try to reach out to them in your team channel on Slack. And also reach out to your team leads. If they're not functional, let us know. Okay, so Nadine, I can see your hand raised all the while. You have a question? Yeah.
Just wanted to ask, according to the Slack, I'm only in one team. Is that possible?
Well, I'm going to try to check that again.
So I'm in the climate and health adaptation strategies ones, and other than that, it's just general information, the random one, all fellows and team leads, but no other group. So yeah.
Okay. Please, if I forget by tomorrow, let me know, but I will check that for you and add you to the second team that you picked on your application.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah. Amadou, I can see your hands up. Do you have a question?
Yes. So good morning, everybody.
Hi.
Yeah. So I'm on two team, and then I can see all the 2 teams there. So how to do?
I guess it's in the first set of teams that were facilitated earlier. So I guess you missed that. You might have to, send them message on the team channel on Slack for you to be able to get ahead with any information that they've discussed while you were not there.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Yeah, thank you. So they should be back in less than 3 minutes, and we would close.
Hi.
Hello. No. All right. Guess it's almost time for them to come back. Okay, someone said. Leonard, I will try to address that when everybody gets back here so I don't have to repeat myself. So just give me a minute, I would answer your question. Okay, was only assigned to all right. Okay. Okay. So we have people coming back already. Oh. All right. So welcome back from your breakout session. So we believe that you've had the opportunity to meet with your teams. And if there was nobody in your team, if peradventure you're the only person in the breakout room, don't worry. It simply means that maybe some of the people in your team didn't have the opportunity to join this meeting. So your team leads will be reaching out to all of you over the course of the week on what you need to do and when you should be doing that. And some people have reached out to me that they were actually not added to the second team that they picked on the application. So I would get that rectified as soon as possible. So if you know that you are just on one team and you would love to join another team, please let me know. You can reach out to me on Slack or on email or anything, but please let me know as soon as possible, probably within 48 hours, so that you can get started with your team earlier on. I believe I've been able to answer everybody's question. Mashkur, is there any other thing that we need to touch base on?
All good.
All right, all good. Could you please take the picture for us? I had issues taking it. So we would like to take a picture now. If you're comfortable, please put on your cameras. And if you're not, you can just leave it at your names. And if you don't want your names to show, you can, just do the needful. Thank you. Mashkur, would you be able to take the picture? Oh, can you hear me? Oh my God. Mashkur, can you hear me? Oh, okay. Let me see if I can try. Okay. Okay, view. Go view. All right. Just give me a minute. I'm going to the next set. All right. So thank you so much, everybody, for being here. We appreciate you. We believe that this is a new it's a new beginning of something good, and we hope that at the end of the 12 weeks we'll have the same set of people that get started with us. Is someone asking a question? Hello, I thought I saw a hand on. Oh, okay. All right. So thank you so much for joining the meeting. You're going to be getting more emails on what we need to do this week and over the next 2 weeks. And also, please reach out to your team leads and anyone on your team on the Slack. Thank you so much for being here. And we've officially launched the program. So please liaise with your team for everything that you need to do. Thank you so much for being here today. And goodbye.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you
Bye.
so much.
No,
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Hello, Dami.
Have a nice day.
Hello.
Yeah, Dami, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, just wanted to ask if this recording will be shared and if the slide for the meeting will be shared.
Definitely.